Greetings, my name is Alexey, and in this final introduction video to Hades Star, I'm going to discuss your core gameplay in more detail, and I'm going to talk about what is it you're going to be doing in the game. So the game separates its gameplay modes in a concept which is called stars. And stars, there are yellow stars, red stars and white stars currently in the game. Maybe eventually there will be more. And stars are basically different game modes, different ways of playing the game. Yellow stars are your home base for the player, so every player has his own yellow star, which has 3 rings of sectors around the star. And in this star you develop your economy, you explore it, you colonize planets, you move shipments to generate credits, and you upgrade your planets, you place warp lanes, and so on and so forth. Then there are red stars, which are 15-minute matches where you cooperate with other players to loot artifacts from a dying star, which will go supernova. So you have a limited time where you can take the artifacts out of the red star before everything gets blown to pieces. And then you have white stars, which are a PvP match. Your PvP matches, which last for like 5 days, where it's like a red star, but the time is slowed down like by a factor of 600. And you also have to retrieve artifacts, which are called relics in the white star. But instead of cooperation with up to 3 other players, you have one enemy corporation, and you have like your players on your side and they have their players on their side. So it's like a 10 versus 10 or 20 versus 20 match where you fight each other to retrieve more relics than the enemy. So the yellow star is, I would say, the meat of the game, the main part of the game. This is where you develop your empire, your like star system. So what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be given one sector and the star, and you're going to explore more sectors by placing these stations called short-range scanners, which allow you to scan adjacent sectors. So you're going to be placing new scanners and exploring more space. As you reveal more space, you're going to reveal more planets, which will colonize. And the planets are producing shipments, and shipments are destined towards some other planet. So these shipments will stack on the planet for 12 hours. That's when the planet becomes full. Like for example, this planet produces 1.5 per hour. So in 12 hours it will produce 18 shipments, which is the maximum. It's the same for all other planets. So for this planet it's 2 shipments and 24 max shipments. And so twice a day you can move shipments around and receive credits for that. So it's like the economy of your empire. And then you get to place other stations, you get to research technology. So that's what you're going to be doing. So there is this like mobile aspect of the game where you slowly progress like over and over to next levels. And there is this active gameplay of moving shipments around. Let's go into a bit more detail. So you're going to be revealing more sectors, and revealing sectors is not like as straightforward as just, okay, I have more money, I just reveal more sectors. There is a strategy to it. You cannot choose where you place your planets except the first several scans, but you can influence where you place your planets. And this is a very important topic. I will talk about it in detail in a future video. So you place more scanners in a specific place which is optimal, and you reveal more sectors to get the planets in the place you want them to be, and that like expands your empire. Then you're going to be upgrading your planets. So the planets, they produce shipments, and shipments they give you several amount of like credits for each shipment. On average, this is going to be what you're going to be getting from this kind of planet. So you're going to be on average getting 237 per hour worth of credits in rewards for the shipments which are generated by this planet. So if you upgrade, the amount goes up, so you get more rewards for shipping. And you also get a higher cap like a higher cap, a higher storage for your credits, which allows you to buy more expensive stuff. You're going to be building warplanes, which is going to change the way your star system is shaped. So you have a little control over where the planets appear. You have some bit of control, but they are still random. So the way the game cleverly goes around this, because this would be a complete screw up if you get an unlucky placement of planets, you would be heavily handicapped. Like, I have the planets like in this linear shape, with some planets like at the edge. At least they're all connected. Some players would have like planets like this, where their planets are like in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by empty space. So this would be very bad if you couldn't somehow fix this. And the way the game lets you fix this is by giving you warplanes. So you can place pairs of portals which connect and allow you to basically fold your space into a multi-dimensional structure, where, like, if before this was a flat, like, board game, like, kinda 2D map, now these 2 points are adjacent. So distance from here to here is not linear, but it's a distance from this point to this point and from this point to this point. So these planets are now very close. This planet is closer to this planet than to this one. And so you can give multiple warplanes to fold your space into a very complex structure, and then you get to basically connect your planets which are far between to make movement easier. And you never have enough of these portals to connect everything, but you can cleverly place them to connect most of your planets in such a way that it takes less fuel to move shipments. So placing those warplanes is one of the best aspects, at least for me, in this game, because it's like a never-ending puzzle. You're constantly trying to improve your layout. Like, I had this kind of linear layout, which just provided connection from the edge planets and also provided me with like faster movement between my key planets. But now I redid it. I'm placing two new portals, and the layout is going to be like here, 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 and here, which would like change the way it works, but it's going to make it more efficient. It's going to make it cost less to connect. Like, these connections cost hydrogen every day, and it's going to be better suited to my goals. Maybe eventually I'll figure out even better like schematic about how to place them. So it's like a puzzle you keep solving and a puzzle you keep improving, and it's very interesting, at least personally for me. Then you're going to be researching technology. The way you do that is you do Red Star missions. You get artifacts from the Red Star mission if you're successful, and those artifacts are automatically researched at the station. So you can salvage artifacts, which means basically exchange your artifact for some credits and hydrogen, or you can place them here and they get researched over up to 3 hours. 3 hours is the maximum amount it takes. And after 3 hours, you not only get your credits and hydrogen, but you also get blueprints. And blueprints let you research more technology. So you're going to be doing Red Star missions, putting the artifact on a research station. Every like 12 hours you have to restock it with new artifacts. And then you will research the technology with the blueprints you get here. So the higher the level of the Red Star you are doing, the better the artifacts will be. Like, I'm doing level 6, so my artifacts are level 6. And so I'm getting blueprints for technology up to level 6, and then I can research this technology. And technology in this game comes in the forms of modules, which you can place on your transports, on your miners, and on your battleships. And this is like what makes the game progress in huge leaps. So this is what makes the puzzles work differently, and this is what makes the game like a never-ending puzzle, which keeps getting more and more interesting over time. So for example, shipments, at first you just pick up the shipment on your transport and move it and keep doing it until you have no shipments remaining. So if I would be like a fresh player, I would go here, pick 2 shipments, move them to this planet, pick some shipments here, move it to this planet, pick some shipments here, move it back, and so on and so forth. That's it. But then you get this module which is a shipment computer, which automatically picks up shipments, automatically delivers shipments, and it shows this hint where the shipments go. So now you can plan at a glance how to route your trade route, and you place a route and the transport automatically moves along this route and picks up and delivers stuff. But then you still do it whenever you want. Like you have several shipments to do, you just move them around and that's it. But then you get these modules which give you increased payout, but only once a day and for several minutes. So now you have to do your shipments twice a day, ideally, to maximize your income. And so the game gets more and more complex, and then you get options like offload, which lets you just drop the shipment on the trade station and receive a reduced payoff. Or things like shipment drone, which automatically deliver your shipments along the warplanes. And so the game keeps changing when you reach these levels of technology. And you research technology over time, so at first it's going to take like 4 hours, 8 hours to get new technology, then it's going to take you like 3 days, 4 days to upgrade it, and you're going to keep upgrading your technology, and it's going to both improve it. So right now I'm improving this one to have more cargo slots and give me more bonus, but also you get completely new stuff which completely changes the way you can play the game. Like for example, at first when you start the game you prefer one-on-one fights because you only have a simple weapon which fires at a single enemy. So if you attack a single enemy, it's better for you, because if you attack 2 enemies, then that means 2 enemies are firing at you, but you are only firing at one of them. Then you get this very good weapon, which fires at 2 enemies at once, and it deals more damage if it has 2 enemies to fire upon. So now it's better for you to have 2 enemies against you. But then you get this weapon, which is complete reverse. So this weapon, it's best when there are many enemies. So you want to have as many enemies as possible, and then it deals huge amounts of damage to one enemy it targets. So the game changes from one way to the other. It keeps being interesting, and it keeps giving you new tools, new toys you can play with. And there are a lot of support modules which are just there's so many options here you can have, and at first you only get to use one of them, so you only get to stun enemies around you or to teleport a short distance. And when you get multiple slots, you can combine them. So you can, for example, you can teleport and then stun. And this lets you use a more complex strategy than before. So the game keeps getting more and more interesting. And all the aspects of the game, they keep improving and they keep getting more complex as you unlock more technology. So this yellow star is what you're going to be doing most of the mostly, which is the core of the gameplay of Hades Star. You're going to be logging in, you're going to be keeping up with your duties. For example, right now my miner finished mining, so I've sent it to the next asteroid, and you will see push notifications from your game, your miner stopped mining. You log in, send it in. That's going to take several seconds. Also, you will research all the artifacts. You'll log in and move new artifacts to be researched, or your technology finished. In 5 hours, I'll log in and pick a new technology to be researched. And when you have more time to spend, you can move your shipments around, or you can do missions. PvP also works on this visit it once in a while basis, since the time is so slow. You can see this ship. It will take 4 hours just to move this. Since the time is so slow, you can just log in once an hour and check what's going on and have a plan. You can plan your actions in this mode. You can say in 3 hours, please go here. So you can kind of plan your actions, and then you can, when it's important, check regularly to see what the enemy does. So you can outplay them, but most of the time you can just come in several times a day and plan your actions, and that will be enough. So that's how the game works. When you have some time to dedicate to the game, you will be doing your shipments and you will be doing your red star missions. Your red star missions are cooperative matches where you cooperate with other players to retrieve artifacts from a dying star. Let me show you one such match. So here we are with my corporate members, so like from my guild. And so for example, we have this planet here, and like 3 planets, 1, 2 and 3, and we are gonna clear all those planets. We have also smaller planets like here and here. So since I'm the most green, like the newest player, the weakest one, I'm just gonna clear this like simple planet until another player arrives, which will help me. Like here he comes. He will help me fighting these enemies. And so this is how the Red Star works. You go around, you kill enemies, you figure out how it's best to approach certain sectors to be more efficient and to kill the enemies without losing your ships. And you're gonna loot artifacts, like I'm looting this planet now, I'm gonna then loot this one. And you bring the artifacts back to your home system to research them or to salvage them. So this match takes 15 minutes always, and you're gonna, like, when you have like a half an hour, you can do 2 such matches in a quick succession. And that's like what the second kind of the gameplay you're going to be spending your time doing, mostly in Hate Star. And in the PvP, you're going to be building your like ship. My ship is now very simple because I don't have many slots to play with, but when I'm going to upgrade my ships, I'm going to have way more options. So you're going to be theory crafting about what's the best, like what kind of ship design is like better, and you're going to be figuring out new ways to outsmart your opponents. For example, this guy, Aprox, he has teleport and he has impulse, so he can teleport somewhere and then quickly move right after he teleported. This can catch your enemy off guard, because the enemy doesn't expect you to be able to move so quickly. This guy, he can move quickly and he can barrier, so this is like the ideal counter like to this one, because he can catch up and then immobilize so the allies can arrive and kill the attacker. Then this guy, he's just like a defensive person who will stop any movement around himself and stun enemies around himself, so he can just protect allies by this, and so on and so forth. So in PvP, you will be coming online regularly to check the progress, or you will be in Discord with your teammates, and the teammates will tell you when to come online and do something. And you will be checking like what can you do, and you will be playing your actions and executing those actions automatically in Time Machine, so you can see how the game will happen, what will happen in an hour and 2 hours, and you can plan your actions accordingly for the desired like result. And so that's basically the game. So the game is this 3 game modes, and why it's great is that it keeps changing all the time, so it doesn't get boring. You're not doing one thing over and over and over, because you're getting more modules, you're getting a larger home system, and every new module has a potential to completely change the way the game works for you and introduce another option which you can incorporate into your strategy. And you keep developing strategies, you keep figuring out new ways to play the game, new, more clever ways to do stuff in the game. And basically that's it. It's a really great mobile game. I suggest to try this game out if you haven't already, because this game is really free and it's really not pay to win. So you can make go without spending any money and still enjoy the game. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye!